Hi everyone, my name is Rachel, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where I make scrapbooking process videos and also do live scrap and chats every month. I hope you enjoy my little corner of the big crafty world, and if you'd like to watch more, please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell to always know when I have a new video. If you could also give me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Alright everyone, let's start scrapping!
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Stash Bash with Rachel and Kelly, our monthly collab between myself and Kelly Oblak. And each month we try to dig deep into our stash and see what we can use. This month Kelly actually had the idea to use an ugly paper or a paper we don't necessarily really like that's just been in our stash. And so I have a little, not a little, it's 12 by 12 obviously, but a bag of what I call one-offs. It's a lot of things where, like, if I bought a warehouse box or I bought a clearance kit and I didn't necessarily like it as a kit together, I would just break up the kit and put the stickers and the paper with the paper and so on and so forth. And so I've got this bag of just random papers. And so the one I'm considering quote unquote ugly, or one I just didn't really know what to do with, is this one here, which is kind of like a collage paper. This is definitely one of my least favorite types of paper, like a collage style. It's just never been my favorite type of paper. Now the B-side is a, oh sugar, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a notebook paper, but there's like a specific thing that I cannot think of. Anyway, this paper is from 2013. It's by Tim and Beck for Studio Calico. I bought it, Studio Calico, back in like 2014, 2015, had a bunch of clearance sales on their older kits. So I'm pretty sure I paid like $5 or $10 for each kit. So that's why I have this. And then to go along with that, I grabbed this one from Making Memories, Great Escape. And this is from 2009. And I just liked the orange. I thought it went well with the little bit of orange that's in that piece of paper. The B-side of this is even more awful, but I just don't even think there is something I could work into using that. And then I've also pulled in this piece. Now, this is from Dear Lizzie, Fine and Dandy. Which one? Wait, how old is this? This is... Oh, this one just, 2014. Now, I do not plan on using this side with the bows, but I thought this side with the gray stripes would be nice. And then I also pulled in this one. This is another Studio Calico, part of their 7 paper line, which is kind of like an offshoot they had for a little while. And this is 2015. And I just liked the arrows. I also brought in some cork arrows as well as some wood veneer arrows, some acrylic pieces, some label stickers, and some washi tape, all from my stash. So I have a 4 photo layout to work with. I have 4 4x6s. I may cut some of them down. 3 of them are nature photos, and then 1 is of my nephew. So I don't necessarily know if I need all of these to be 4x6. We shall see. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys put on fast forward. Before I do, 2 things. First, if you can make sure to check below in the description box for the link to Kelly's video. And then also, if you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. All right, everybody, let's get going.
Before we get started, ledger paper. That's the type of paper that I could not figure out the word for. Oy vey. So I'm going to go ahead and trim down 2 of my photos to 4x4s, the one of my nephew, and then this one here. I didn't need the evergreen on the right-hand side there. I really was just looking more for the spooky trees. So that's what I was looking for. So I decided to go ahead and trim those down. The other two I'm going to leave at 4x6. So I've got 2 4x4 photos and 2 4x6 photos. So obviously on this particular layout, my photos are going to take up a lot of the real estate on my layout, and that's totally fine. In fact, there are many scrapbookers who that is their preference, is to fill their page with photos. And I occasionally like to do layouts like that, especially with this background paper, which I don't love so much. That way it's just showing a bit of it. Now, the two 4x6 photos I matted in that Making Memories orange paper, and then these 2 4x4 photos I'm going to mat in this arrow paper from 7 Paper by Studio Calico. And at first I think I'm going to do them horizontally, but then I realized that's not going to work. They aren't going to fit on my page that way, so I go ahead and do them vertically instead. So I'm giving a little bit of a wider border to the arrow piece, just so you can actually see there's arrows there. So then I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the branding strip of the collage paper. And I want to use the stripe paper, so I decide to tear it and just have a chunk in the center. But when I put it on the paper, and I do trim off about 3/4 of an inch so it doesn't run all the way to the edge of the 12x12. But when I put the photos down on it, I don't care for it. So I decide instead to tear it off and just give a center thing. And to be honest, you aren't going to see a lot of it at all. I don't even think it was necessary, but it's fine. You do see a little bit of it, and I don't know, I just decided to keep it. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. I apologize. Oh my goodness, that came out of nowhere. So what I decide to do instead, I grab a ruler and I do more of a controlled tear at the top, and then I'm going to, first I'm going to take this piece, which, if you remember correctly, is the leftover portion of after I trimmed off about 3/4 of an inch. So when I go to line it up underneath my 12x12, it's shockingly enough not 12x12. Luckily, I do have this other piece of the paper from before I trimmed off the 3/4 of an inch. So I am able to go ahead and add this portion underneath to kind of do a little peak of another pattern paper at the top. Now, I could have trimmed this down to just use a certain section, but to be honest, I don't have anything that goes with this with this paper, and I'm never going to use the bow side, so I was totally fine with just using everything that was left over. So I then go ahead and get my photos laid down, and now I am going to use the washi tape that I picked out from Freckled Fawn, and I'm going to put 2 pieces up at the top above the 4x6 photos, and then I'm going to add 2 more below the 4x4 photos. Now obviously the ones that are 4x4 are not as long as the 4x6s, so I just end up tearing little bits of the edge off because it's going to run off the edge of the paper, and I decided I'd rather have a torn edge rather than wrap it around the edge of the paper. Just a personal choice for this particular layout. So I'm going to go ahead and work on my title. These thickers are from Bo Bunny. They're called Garden Grove, and I love them very much. I own 3 packs of them, and I'm starting up on my second pack for the majority of my letters now. So my title is going to be Woodsy Walk. This is my nephew, who's actually there with a friend of his, but I've had to remind him, when you go somewhere, try to take a picture of all of the people who are on the trip with you. But he did not. So, but I did get him. Well, he and his friend went on a hike, and he's like, I took pictures. He sent me 20 pictures of rocks. I'm like, which is very kind of him. I'm like, except there's no reference point. I'm like, take a picture of a sign, take a picture of yourself. I don't need 20. I mean, I love nature photos, but I don't need 20 photos of rocks. It's just not going to work for me. So we had a discussion, and it's funny, it's a discussion we've had before, and I'm sure you've had it with your own children or family or whatnot, just trying to get interesting photos that will then remind you of your trip, or whatever it is that you're doing. And I talked to him before about it, years ago, but it's like every once in a while you have to go back and give a little reminder. So in case you're wondering why am I doing a layout about this, my nephew took one of his classes. He had a science class last year, and it was about nature. And one of the things they were studying were invasive species in nature. So he had to do a documentary about something that he told me about that, they were talking a couple months ago now, so I do not remember. But he got a 91 on the project. He had to make a mini documentary. So he did really well. So, all right, let's actually talk about the layout. I added a couple of label stickers. Those are also from Freckled Fawn. I added a couple of cork arrows with gold. I decided to go with those rather than the wood veneer. Those are from Studio Calico, and then the acrylic pieces that are from Color Cast Designs. I'm going to finish off my layout with some of these aqua enamel dots. And then the final thing I'm going to do is add some Heidi Swapp Golden Color Shine, but first I'm going to work on my journaling on that label. And once again, thank you guys so much for joining me here. Don't forget to go down into the description box and click on the link to Kelly's video. I'm sure her video is going to be as awesome as they always are. All right, folks, just finishing up my journaling here, and then I will grab my Heidi Swapp Color Shine. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting words. My Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and I will go ahead and just sprinkle that in the upper right-hand corner and the lower left-hand corner, and that will complete this layout. Thanks so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a wonderful time, no matter what time of day you have to be watching this. All right, everyone, bye!